Ah, movie trailers. I just love them. I mean, they've been a huge part of my film obsession ever since I can remember. But lately, I'm starting to kind of wonder if they might be, at times more harmful than useful, for me at least. And the reason I say this is because sometimes when I get really taken by an amazing trailer, which I love, my mind kind of tends to wander off a bit, and I will set up kind of like unfair expectations in my own head for the film. And then when I actually see the whole thing, the full movie, I might feel kind of let down because I was, kind of stupidly expecting something different. So I sort of did that with today's film, which we're talking about, Love Lies Bleeding from 2024. Now, this was directed by Rose Glass, who I gotta say, I haven't talked really about it yet, but she blew me away with her feature length debut, Saint Maud, back in 2019. Highly recommended, guys. That was one of my favorite films of that year, if not my favorite. And Rose Glass will forever be a director that I will follow closely. Now, in my opinion, she set the bar just ridiculously high for herself with Saint Maud, which I suppose is a good problem to have. And while I don't think Love Lies Bleeding is as good, it's still a very good film. So you have Kristen Stewart and Katie O'Brien as the two leads. Obviously, Kristen Stewart has gotten a lot of shit for her kind of stiff performances in the past, but she's great here. She's really, really good. Maybe she's gotten better, or maybe Rose Glass just knew exactly what to do with her. Either way, I loved her here. And I wasn't familiar at all with Katie O'Brien, but she's also really good. And for supporting roles, you got a good cast here, I gotta say. We got Anna Baryshnikov, Dave Franco, Jenna Malone, and the goddamn man himself, Ed fucking Harris. The story here is set in 1989, which I'm always going to be a sucker for because I'm an 80s kid. Now, don't go off using the W word. You know what I'm saying? You know the word that I hate. Don't say it. But one thing I did notice is all the male characters in this movie are bad. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember there being a male character in this movie that was like a decent human. Yeah, I mean, some of the female characters are not, not pillars of society either. But yeah, I think pretty much all the male characters are basically the villains in this film. I'm just pointing that out. That is not a complaint that I'm making. Please don't misquote me. And the setting here is it's in a small, kind of grimy town that gives the film a really gritty look and feel, that in the 80s aesthetics. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I did let my imagination run away a little bit after seeing the trailer a few times, because it was one of the coolest trailers I have ever seen. And I was kind of expecting this to be like a crime thriller, with maybe a heavy focus on like organized crime. And it is, but it's also a love story. The crime elements are there, but not like what I expected. You've got Lou, played by Kristen Stewart, who works at a local gym that her sleazy crime boss father, Lou Sr., owns, played by Ed Harris. And he also owns a gun range, and he sells guns illegally. He has like a gun runner or a gun running, business. And he's been long watched by the FBI. They're just waiting, for the right time to take him down. And Jackie, played by Katie O'Brien, she's like an aspiring bodybuilder who is homeless and passing through town on her way to Las Vegas to try and enter some competitions. She meets Lou at the gym, and they hit it off instantly, and they start dating each other, with Lou offering Jackie a place to stay until she gets on her feet. And they really did have chemistry here together. It was very believable, and I totally appreciated that. And Lou ends up hooking up Jackie with some steroids, which she had previously not used before. And that leads to her, having like manic moments and kind of uncontrollable outbursts. And she gets a job at Lou Sr.'s gun range, despite Lou, kind of advising her to not get involved with Lou Sr. But she also gets involved with Lou's kind of family drama after Lou's sister Beth is badly assaulted by her husband JJ, played by Dave Franco. And Jackie reacts emotionally, and she makes a decision that will change her life forever, and it'll change Lou's life as well. Now, you don't really know a whole lot about Jackie here. She's kind of a drifter, but chasing her dreams at the same time. She's got a painful history with her family, and you don't really know if she was like abandoned by them or if she left home willingly. The story arc really was kind of similar to Maud's past in the film Saint Maud. Mistakes were clearly made, but the details are kind of vague, leaving you to kind of draw your own conclusions. At the end of the day, though, I think Jackie's a sweet girl who means well. She has an innocent side, and you feel for her, and you kind of cheer her on. I mean, we all make mistakes, okay? All right, well, maybe not as bad as Jackie, but give a girl a break. And Lou also has a dark past. She used to work for her dad, and she's definitely done some awful things. But it was in the past, and she was likely manipulated, and she doesn't want anything to do with her father anymore. And we definitely have to talk about Ed Harris. I have always been a big fan, and he is awesome here. In fact, he is my favorite part of the film, I gotta say. He's a total sleazy, despicable sociopath. I mean, he's creepy looking, he's always messing around with guns, and he has like an obsession with bugs. Like his office is full of like terrariums, I think they're called, full of beetles and other bugs of sorts, and he's always playing with them and stuff. Some people like dogs, some people like bugs. I get it. And just to show you kind of like how ruthless and sociopathic he is, there's a part where he gets pissed off and smashes all of the terrarium things in his office, and he picks up one of the beetles and he just eats it. He just throws it in his mouth and starts chewing on it. It was so over the top, and I loved that scene. And I love Rose Glass for writing it. Anyways, I think I've given away more than enough. And again, I liked Saint Maud much more, but this is a damn good film in its own right. In fact, it's probably more accessible than Saint Maud was, and it might appeal to a lot more people. I mean, the cinematography was stunning, the editing was clever, great dialogue, fantastic acting with memorable characters. I'm going to give Love Lies Bleeding a 7.5 out of 10. Cheers, guys.